When I read MBA essays, one of the most common things I see is this. A candidate tells me something they believe is powerful, but it lands flat. And the reason this happens almost always comes down to this one common problem. They've written a statement where there should have been a story. It's easy to see how this happens. You've spent weeks thinking about what the AdCom needs to know about you, and you distill those ideas into neat, tidy sentences. And in the process, your ideas have been boiled down so far, they've lost their flavor. They've been distilled into something broad and generic. The result? The reader learns the label you've put on an experience, but not the moments that gave it meaning. Without the moments to latch onto, the reader has nothing to picture, nothing to feel, nothing to remember. A statement is a conclusion, it's the label you've put on an experience. I led my team through a difficult project, or I was ostracized growing up, or I learned the value of perseverance. The problem is these labels make it impossible for the reader to feel and see your experience. They're being told about the experience, not brought into it. They tell us the what, but not the how or the why. And without that, there's nothing for the reader to truly connect to. A story is different. A story drops the reader into a moment. It shows them the tension in the room, the looks exchanged, the obstacles you're up against, and the choices you made. A story gives the reader something to see. Here's the test. If someone else with a similar background could have written your sentence or paragraph, it's not yet a story, it's just a statement. So, how do you make the leap? You start with a scene. Where were you? Who else was there? What exactly happened that set events in motion? Then move into your role. What you did, what you saw, what you learned, and what stayed with you. That's what makes a story real. Real means it's anchored in your actual experience, not polished into something that sounds like it came from a leadership textbook. It's the difference between writing to impress and writing with insight. So the next time you draft an essay, look for those statements. Then ask yourself, where's the story? Where's the scene? Now, in the next video, I will dig even deeper and teach you some techniques that can turn statements into stories. So hit subscribe to make sure you don't miss the entire MBA essay series. You will see how a few simple moves can turn a bland essay into one that sings with purpose. But also don't forget, in the previous video, I talked about how stories need to be relevant, that you need to show a good judgment in choosing a story that is both relevant to MBA admissions and real enough to leave an impression. So if you haven't watched the previous video or need a refresher, it's linked in the description.